Thought for the week this week, I'm thinking about the theme of determination, and I thought it would be good to go out in the garden. Do you want to come with me? Come on, let's go. Of course, it's nearly winter, and if you look at the garden behind me, the trees are dropping their leaves and looking really quite bare. And the grass has got leaves on it and it's a bit mossy. It's not looking great. And a lot of the flowers are finishing for winter too. But there are some flowers in my garden that are really determined. They are going to put out lovely flowers even though it's cold, because they want the insects to come and pollinate them and help them to grow. And they bring lovely autumn and winter colour to my garden. Would you like to see? Just over here. This is called a fuchsia, and it's a very determined fuchsia, isn't it? It's got lovely pink flowers on it. I've got some more fuchsias in my front garden too, and they are really struggling on, even though the weather is cold, putting out flowers. What determined flowers. There's some more just over here. You see these lovely yellow ones? Now this is a determined plant. These flowers are called jasmine, winter flowering jasmine. This plant puts out its flowers when it's cold. Not in the summertime, but in the winter. I think that's a sign of real determination. A plant that wants, whatever the weather, to make sure that it pollinates and grows and becomes a better plant. And I've got a pot plant over here that's definitely a summer plant. Now, if it's a summer plant, there shouldn't be flowers on it, should there? But there are. Have a look. It's just the last few flowers, and they're struggling on. Beautiful purple on the inside. In the summer, this whole plant was covered in flowers, but it's still trying to put out that last few flowers in the winter. What determined plants. There was a lady called Ruth, and Ruth had had quite an unhappy life. She'd been married, that was good, but her husband died, that wasn't. And her father-in-law died too, and there was a famine in the land. Ruth was very good friends with her mum-in-law, who was called Naomi. And Naomi said, Ruth, go and find another husband. Start again. Don't stay with me. I'm going to go back to my own country because there's nothing here for me. But Ruth really loved Naomi. Ruth was loyal to her mum-in-law, and she said, I'm not going to leave you. Wherever you go, I'm going to go too. What determination. She was going to stick with the person she loved no matter what. Ruth and Naomi had quite a long journey to make. I think we should go on a journey too. Shall we see what other flowers we can find? There's some over here. Look at these. In the midst of these wintry looking plants with all these autumn leaves, there's lovely starry purple flowers. Aren't they lovely? Ruth and Naomi's journey took them all the way to Israel. In Israel, Ruth had to find some work to do to get enough food for her and Naomi to live. And so she went and gleaned. That's picking up the leftover bits at the side of the field while the harvest was coming in. And she did that on the farm of a man called Boaz. Boaz was very kind, and he looked out for Ruth. He wanted Ruth to get enough food for her and for Naomi. And eventually, Boaz asked Ruth to marry him. And Ruth was able to become the farmer's wife and to start again. Ruth's hard work and her determination to stay with Naomi paid off. On these wintry days, sometimes we have to be a bit more determined, don't we? I'm standing in the sunshine in my garden right now, and if you listen hard, as well as traffic, you can hear a bird singing. Did you hear it? What a determined little bird, singing away, even though the winter is coming. It's a lovely noise, isn't it? I wonder what we have to be determined about at school. Are you determined in your friendship, in sticking with your friends, like Ruth did for Naomi? Are you determined in your work, in working hard at the things you need to do in school, like Ruth did in the fields? If you work really hard, if you are determined about your friendship and what you do, determined about your goals, then you will achieve them, just like Ruth did. Ruth was able to find a happy, settled life for herself and Naomi, who she loved so much. I wonder what you might be able to achieve. I think we should look for some more flowers, don't you? Shall we see what else we can find? Come on. Sometimes when you're being very determined, you have to look hard. This bed is an alpine bed and it's beautiful in the summer. Lots and lots of flowers, but look very closely here. And there's just these few last flowers of the summer. Aren't they lovely? What a determined little plant this one is. I'm going to say a prayer now. Dear God, will you help us to be determined about our friendships and doing things good for the people we love? Will you help us to be determined about our work and doing the best we can? And dear God, will you bless us as you blessed Ruth and Naomi, who showed such determination and trust in you? Amen. Now these flowers are looking gorgeous and lovely and flowering hard, even though it's cold. And even though the sun is shining around me, it is pretty cold. I'm going inside for a nice warm drink. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again in another assembly very soon. Bye-bye.